I've had an idea bouncing around in my mind, and WorkSucksChannel, this video goes out to you. It's just an observation I've made from one job to another. And I've actually talked about it with a couple other people, and they've had similar experiences, so I'm kind of curious if anyone out there has had the same experience as I have. It's called the honeymoon period. Once upon a time, jobs were apprenticeships. It was kind of like a long arranged marriage where eventually you ended up in your occupation whether you liked it or not. And times have changed since then. Now we can go around and we can try different occupations every month if we want to. The concept builds from you get a job and it slowly starts to hit your encouraging factors. You're like, well, I'm actually pretty well tuned for this job, feeling like you're doing pretty well there, and you're starting to actually understand the concept, and the training is hitting home, and all of a sudden you're in this position, you're there, you've had your trial by fire, if it's a trial by fire environment, and you feel comfortable in that time just past training through to 2-3 months after the fact. Now, this honeymoon period usually ends with a very abrupt, oh my god, I hate my job, I cannot function here today. There's only been one case where I haven't had that sort of situation, and that's when there was no feeling like I ever hit home with it. That was a telemarketing job. Whew. Now, I also have an experience where the honeymoon period literally broke into pieces. I had been at my job. I had been at my call center job, not my current job, which I love, and I'm so far past my honeymoon period in that I don't feel comfortable talking about it because I love it. But my previous job, which I also loved, I would have stayed there if I had the chance. The night my honeymoon period broke was not a night for a perv call. It wasn't. And it wasn't a night where I had anything go wrong with my coworkers, or I had anything major occur to me except for me and a customer. Now, to preserve the sanctity of prior experiences, even though my job no longer exists there, the chain is still open, so to preserve the sanctity of that, I'm not going to go into. What happened near the end of the evening for this job is I would get calls in from people who were looking to cancel their order, and sometimes that could not be easily done. The call that I received was actually from a time at which myself and some other agents were being trained, and this call did not go well. The customers called in to cancel not only their order, but other orders that they were attached to. And as the night wore on, it was 2 customers on the line with me at the same time. And one was very sweet, and the other was very frustrating. And I actually placed the customers on hold. I asked my coworker, the only coworker in the room, if she was on the call. She was not. And I screamed the most earth-shattering, blood-curdling shriek that I think I have ever let out in my entire life. If there was a pillow in the room, I would have screamed into that, but there wasn't. So instead, I just screamed into the air. And at that point in time, when I was letting out that shriek, there was a catharsis from everything. And I picked up the hold, and I serviced the customers, and I called them back and finished up servicing them the following day. And I knew at that point that even though the honeymoon period was over, and even though I had gotten through that call, but I had not gotten through it easily, that I could take whatever life threw at me next for that conversation, and for any conversation following it. There was no manager on duty. Since then, I have seen other agents have the exact same experience with a customer. It may not have ended in a blood-curdling screech, but it brought whatever state they were in to a complete halt. and for the rest of the day, they are reconsidering everything that they have thought about this job. If you find yourself in a situation where you don't have a honeymoon period, it's not the right job for you. Think about it. Walk away if necessary. If you find yourself in a situation where you have met the honeymoon period with grace and dignity and managed to find yourself on the other side without a blood-curdling shriek, and congratulations, you're probably in your dream job. So, WorkSucksChannel, I bring it back to you. Have you had a honeymoon period with any of your jobs? Or have none of them been the right job for you, hence starting the WorkSucksChannel? Get back to me.